right, this is Roy Sodiar here with Everyday Praise, and I hope you have had a good weekend so far. My wife and I had a wonderful Sabbath, a full Sabbath. The only thing that I guess is a bit of a, how do you say it, the fly in the oil or in the ointment is Josiah is still having issues with congestion and sickness and whatever. But, you know, he's not the only one struggling. There's many others, and we'll get through it. But today's episode, number 82, is titled Count Your Blessings. But there's a little prefix there, the acronym CIC. Not sure if you're familiar with CIC. That stands for Citizenship Immigration Canada. And the reason I mention that is because of the process we went through to bring Michelle and to apply for her, not citizenship, but her immigration status as a permanent resident here in Canada. And I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But last week we did, I believe it was last week, we did 2 marriage tips. Marriage tip number 1 was get historical. And marriage tip number 2 was let your partner influence you. So I hope you were able to glean something from those episodes, and that you're maybe practicing that and other things to spring clean your marriage and just take it a notch up. Relationships take work, and we have to be intentional, and we have to do our part, both as men and as women, for our relationships and our marriages to be successful. Anyways, in marriage tip number 1 on get historical, I failed to mention this, but the thing I've been doing recently in order to get historical is that I've been reading through a journal that Michelle wrote. And I don't think I mentioned that in that episode. The journal that she wrote it specifically for me, just as we were approaching marriage. Just her anticipation and excitement of us starting a family, a home together. And it's just so interesting. And I was reading today from August 28th entry, 2013. And I was able to read just her thoughts. And that particular day, she had put her immigration package in the mail to CIC. And the prayer that she wrote down, as well as the prayer that we had, was that all the work that we had put in together to apply for her status as a permanent resident, that it was going to go through without any hitches, and that she was going to be able to, once we got married, come up to join me in Canada. And so that was a long process. I put in a ton of hours. It was like a book that we sent off of documents and photocopies and applications, and the list goes on of just everything that was needed for that application. Long story short, sometimes it'll take a year, or longer to get your application through. Even if you're using a lawyer, it can take up to a year. We didn't use a lawyer, we did it ourselves, and we got her permanent residency approval within about 9 months. So it was amazing. God answered our prayers, and so I praise God for the way that He worked in bringing Michelle and I together, how He helped work through all the paperwork, and God is so good. So it's important for us to reflect back, to get historical, and to count our blessings, write them down, because it's nice to have the opportunity to reflect on the ways that God has blessed us in the past. Have a wonderful week. In our home, we like to say Feliz Semana. That means Happy New Week. So may God bless each of you, and look forward to tuning in with you again soon.